In this video, I'm going to try to go through the 10 intuitive eating principles and show how they all intertwine together. Okay, so leave a comment down below if you have questions or like this video if you like it. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. So I'm Jared, and let's just dive in. So, how do these 10 beautiful intuitive eating principles all connect? I'm going to start with principle 8 about body image. Respect your body. It's not about loving your body because sometimes that's too much of a stretch. It's not realistic, but we can respect our body. We can give it rest, we can feed it, we can take care of it. Now, this culture that we live in has a horrible body image problem. 90% of people are not going to be pencil thin. It's just not in their genes or their body structure. But every image we see out there is of really, really thin people, oftentimes white, and it creates this unattainable standards. And even we all know the magazine editors, they edit things out and make people impossibly beautiful. Now, we might know that's wrong intellectually, but our emotional brain, it sees these images and it wants to model. It sees these images of role models or whatever and tries to be like it. So this creates a gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. And this feeds into the other principle, the first principle: reject the dieting mentality. So when there's a gap between your body right now and how you perceive your body, then you're oftentimes our culture preaches this restrictive mentality. Just work real hard, just stop eating, just measure everything, be, restrictive, and just be good around food. And this type of cultural messaging creates a dieting mentality. And I don't like the word diet, but I sometimes think that diet has DIE in it, right? Die. When you are trying to lose weight or achieve this body image by restricting or being obsessive or being really hard on yourself, it's like you're dying inside. And if you're dying inside, then this whole journey is just not going to work. I think we all know what happens is you can lose weight, but it comes back because you're dying inside. Okay, so that's two principles right there. So we got to see how this body image standard is impossible. We got to honor our body. And then we got to reject this dieting mentality because it's causing us to die inside. And unfortunately, we've internalized a lot of these different psychodynamics, these different rules that our society preaches about working hard, restricting, being logical. And these rules have oftentimes seeped into your head, and they are now the quote unquote food police. Principle 4. Principle 4, we got this internal dialogue. This is the hardest part about, in my opinion, the hardest part about getting over healing your food relationship. It's the thoughts inside. It's the rebel. It's all these different conflicting voices inside. These rules, they restrict you, they're perfectionistic. And then the flip side is that your inner kid wants to rebel, right? Your inner kid says, screw all these rules. I'm being controlled. I don't have any power. So I'm going to exert power by eating food. And this ties into principle 7, coping with emotions without using food. And so if you are using food to get control, to rebel, this food is helping you meet an emotional need. And of course, there's more reasons: stress and feeling uncomfortable, feeling bored, feeling lonely. Food can be there for you in tough times. It can temporarily help you meet an emotional need. And that's why food can be so appealing. You're trying to lose weight from an unattainable body image. You're restricting. You're not really focused on honoring or respecting your body. Your emotional needs aren't getting met. And then these voices are in your head and it's just too much. And so food becomes this way to help you temporarily meet your emotional needs. And when you are using food to meet your emotional needs, you're really not focused on your emotions. Again, this dieting mentality and those body image, what they do is they take you out of your body and into your head. And when you're out of your body, you're not listening to your hunger. Principle number two. And when you're not listening to your hunger, you're going to get depleted. You're going to get ravenous hunger, and that'll make you binge. It'll make you overeat. It'll make you emotionally eat. And when you're not honoring your hunger, you're also not following principle 10, which is gentle nutrition, which are which is the basic guidelines, protein, fat, carbs, and figuring out what foods um, are going to nourish your body. You're really not focusing on what you're eating, how it feels to you. And this ties into principle 6 as well, food satisfaction, which is sort of what I've been talking about actually, as I realize. But food satisfaction, nutrition, um, food satisfaction is where after you eat, you are content in your stomach for like a couple hours. You don't really think about food because you're content. It's like you fill up your gas tank, and after you fill up your gas tank, you don't really think about getting gas for a while, right? Like I know, if you fill up your car, you just kind of drive, and then you notice it when it starts getting low, but you know. So if you're satisfied with food, your belly's gonna feel solid and firm and not bloated, but anyways, you'll stop thinking about food because you're satisfied, and you'll be comfortably full, right? When you're satisfied, it becomes easier to stop eating when you're full because um, you can trust that you are going to be satisfied the next meal. If you're restricting because of that body image and that dieting mentality, and you're not focusing on your body and meeting your emotional needs, um, your body really can't trust that you're going to feed it, and so it's going to want you to keep eating even though um, you um, like are already full. Like it's going to keep wanting you to eat because it's like, well, I better eat now because I don't know when I'm going to be able to really eat a lot in the future. Um, so those are the five. That's the fifth principle. And let's see. So I know I'm missing unconditional eating. I think we've covered, oh, gentle movement. Yes. Um, okay. So let me see if I can weave in uh, this whole uh, gentle movement and unconditional eating. Then we'll wrap up this video. Um, unconditional eating, or sorry, gentle movement, it really fits in as a corollary to the dieting mentality because oftentimes people, when they're trying to lose weight and they're restricting, they're over exercising. They're using exercise as a way to burn calories, but no one ever sticks with exercise if it's just to be done to burn calories, if it's done in a harsh, punitive manner. It just becomes exhausting. It doesn't make you feel good. And so gentle exercise recognizes the importance of moving your body, but also says, hey, like, let's do it in a way that nourishes us, where after your workout or whatever, you actually feel more energy. You're not exhausted. Sometimes that means backing off. Let me share with you that my main form of exercise is walking. Okay. I just walk a lot. Um, yeah, weight lift a little bit, but it's a far cry from my heyday when I was working out way harder. And yeah, I actually was stronger back then, but my relationship with food was terrible. Um, I was depleting myself. And then when you're depleted, that little sneaky voice creeps in there and says, hey, why don't you just have that, a little sweet or whatever? And oh, one turns into 10, and all of a sudden you're trapped in shame. And, so if we nourish our body through food satisfaction, regular eating, honoring your hunger, respecting your body, meeting, really kind of focusing on your emotional needs of rest, um, and gently moving your body, this can really help you feel better in a healthy, sustainable way. And when you're coming from this place, this radically different place where you're honoring your body and you're honoring your mind, body, heart, and soul, when you're taking care of your emotional needs, then you become ready to practice unconditional eating. I find this to be one of the last steps. I know other intuitive eating practitioners recommend a putting it first or whatever, but I just find that it's best coming last once people are they're stripping back their thoughts, they're seeing what's going on inside, they're honoring their body. Then they are in a spot where you say, hey, I'm just going to drop the rules entirely. I'm going to trust my body, and I'm just going to um, go through this process where I let myself eat what I want. I'm learning to trust my desires. I'm learning to trust that my needs will be satisfied and that my desires will be sated because I am meeting my needs. So I know this has been a video that's been kind of been all over the place. So if you have questions about how these work, be sure to leave a comment down below. If you like this video and find it useful, if you can drop a like button and subscribe, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. And I hope you have a great day. That'll be it for today. Namaste.